The lab was full of students. We all had an OS midterm exam. Some were prepared, some had different methods of preparation with different settings in their specific computers, if you know what I mean. Everyone had a little bit of nervousness. Some were nervous in their preparation, some were nervous if their methods are going to work or not. Either way, we started the exam and we were given the sheets of papers where we had to write our algorithms, and the teacher said that something along the lines of you need to write the algorithms and then you need to display the sample input and output. I was like, wait, I am going to write the algorithm on paper. How the heck I'm going to see the sample input and output? And I was like, bro, this does not make sense. So rather than asking any other person, my friends, I went ahead and asked the teacher, ma'am. She's like, yes. Ma'am, if we write it on the paper, how are we going to see the sample input and output? First, she looked surprised at how ridiculous the question was. She was like, what? I was like, ma'am, then I spoke louder, ma'am, if we write the code on paper, how are we going to see the sample input and output? The whole class went silent for 1 second, and then everyone started laughing. I mean, everyone. There was a huge burst of laughter across the entire room. I would like to say that I felt ashamed, but I did not give a damn. This story illustrates one of the biggest concepts that I would like to illustrate in this course and that I want to drill into your mind is operationalizing. Okay? This is a specific what I want you to take away from this story is that you need to be specific. It's better to be afraid, it's better to be ridiculed for your questions than not understand and pretend to be smart and do the wrong thing. Guess what? I got 94 marks out of 100 in that subject. Who's laughing now, bitch? Either ways, welcome back to the course. Today we are going to cover operationalizing. So what is operationalizing? For those of you who know me, who have watched some of the previous lectures, you would know that I begin most of my lectures by defining the term that I'm going to discuss in the video, defining that topic or a concept. I try to define it in ways that you can see and you can hear, like it is in the physical world, it is objective. Okay, why are we going for operationalizing? Because feelings and emotions cannot be measured. Not saying that they don't exist, not saying that they're not important, but they cannot be measured. I felt like this question was important. No, I saw it in 10 different previous year papers, and that's why I felt like that. And that's why I have proof that this was important. Now, operationalizing has 3 main pillars. It's more like 3 main questions which would help you get clearer in terms of whatever topic you're going to study. First, what does it mean? Second, how do you know that? Third, why does it matter? I'm going to give you examples which will illustrate all these 3. First, one of my teachers cut my marks because I had bad presentation. What does it mean by having bad presentation? I'm like, ma'am, how do I have good presentation? Now, when I asked that question, many of you would have thought, oh, how come he doesn't know what does good presentation mean? Bro, admit that you don't know stuff. It's, I think, Plato's quote that the more I know that I know nothing. That, yeah, I would rather be the dumbest man in the room and then have the outcome that I want rather than pretend to be smart and not ask questions. One thing I want you to take into your heart is that you should never ever be afraid of asking questions, especially when it's to teachers. This is one of my teachers told this to me, and never apologize for questions. However, I'm like, ma'am, how does it look like when we have good presentation? So she was like, you have written this code, then you crossed it out, and then you wrote another piece of code. Don't do that. I'm like, ma'am, how do I not do that? She's like, do one thing. Whenever you see a question, prepare a mental map of how the code will look like, in the sense that what statements will you use, what variables you're going to use. Just have a mental map of how the final code will look like, and then follow that map and do this. And then I did that, and she improved my marks, and I got good grades this time. So that's how. What does it mean? Please ask this. It's very, very helpful. What does it mean? So don't be lazy. Be more productive. Be more proactive. What does it mean in terms of what can I do? How can I know if someone is this? Let's say, if anyone tells you, okay, be more engaged in the class, what does it mean? How do I look at a person and I tell you, yeah, this person is engaged and this person is not engaged? So something would look like, okay, when the teacher is speaking something, this person is taking notes. When the teacher is explaining a concept and they're finished, then this person asks questions. This person clears other people's doubts. This person understands and repeats what the teacher has taught in their own words. All of these different stuff. This person nods and makes eye contact with the teacher when they're explaining. Engage in the class. This person does not talk to other people while the teacher is explaining. This person does not sleep in the class while they're explaining. More engaged. What does it mean? Another substitute for that question, what does it mean, is like, how does it look like when this is correct? Like, how does it look like when someone is engaged? How does it look like when you have a better presentation? So that's one thing. Now, second question, how do you know that? This is especially important when you're taking advice from your peers or probably seniors also sometimes. They'll be like, bro, this question is important. Okay, how do you know that? Bro, I just know, bro, I'm telling you. How do you know that? My teacher has told. Which teacher? Don't you attend? Like, I never see you coming to class. No, bro, this is important. And then they start getting defensive. So you need to understand, and I've said this in one of the previous modules also, that you need to take advice only from those people who have already achieved that thing. So please try to understand the source. And if you don't ask this question, how do you know that? You sometimes tend to solve problems that don't exist. Like in one of my classes, we had to do an assignment. There were like 8 questions, and one of my friends, she had gone to the class and she had to ask she was telling me that the teacher has told only to do 2 questions. Whereas some other guy came to me and he was like, bro, I'm doing all 8 questions. I'm like, how do you know that? He's like, no, bro, my friend is doing all 8 questions. I'm like, no, my friend has gone to the class and I trust her, and she's doing just 2 questions. So I'm going to just do 2 questions. Please confront reality, be objective. I'm so sorry, I'm sweating. I can't really turn on the fan because there's background noise. Anyway, now these 2 are done. What does it mean? How do you know that? Third, why does it matter? This helps you eliminate and filter out all the noise from the signal. What do I mean by that is that this course is created just for the purpose of helping you get better marks in your college exams. Anything that is not relevant to that, you have to filter out. Iran-Israel war, people are talking, oh, this is happening. Why does it matter? You've done an assignment, you've already submitted it. And then another friend of yours is like, bro, you had to do it this way and this way. I'm like, no, I've submitted it. Why does it matter? Like, and now you can understand where there are different situations where you can apply this concept. Now, let's see. Yeah, another thing that I want to illustrate is that when you're asking questions, you might think that, what if I look too dumb, and what if my image goes down? First of all, there's no such thing as image. Like, nobody actually cares. This teacher that you're studying from, they've cycled through thousands of students. They don't care, honestly. They probably don't even remember the name of their best students. So there is no such thing as image. and no one actually judges. People are too busy checking if others are judging them, so that's why they don't judge. Okay, so that's that. And yeah, always it's better to be perceived to be dumber than you actually are. Yeah, right? If you are strong, you want to appear weak so that people don't guess. I mean, that does not mean that you lie and say that, bro, I haven't studied anything, and then you go and crush the exam. Then that you lose trust that way. But still, looking dumb in the sense that you're asking questions and other people think that you're dumb. Now, if another person says that you're dumb because you didn't know a simple thing. I mean, I asked it, now I know it, so why does it matter? Coming back to the why does it matter point. So that was operationalizing from my side. Very good concept. Please keep it in mind. Just 3 questions. I want you to say it with me. What does it mean? Why does it matter? How do you know that? What does it mean? How does it matter? How do you know that? What does it mean? Why does it matter? How do you know that? Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.